Beyond its technical and military capabilities, Israel's main battle tank, the Merkava, is a potent weapon of psychological warfare. It is a statement of Israel's military power and a symbol of Israel's determination to dominate the Arabs. Israelis were only too keen to publicize this power. Promotional videos extolling the Merkava's benefits were posted on the internet. Yet Israel's enemies also proved media savvy. The Al-Manar television station, owned and run by Hezbollah, broadcast its own edited version of the Israeli videos. Except Hezbollah's message about the Merkava was wholly different. During the 2006 war in Lebanon, Israel targeted Al-Manar TV station in an attempt to stop its broadcasts. Ali Shuaib is a correspondent for Al-Manar.
Hello.
Here in the town of Nabatia, he showed us the building in which he used to work before it was destroyed by an Israeli aerial attack in the 2006 war. Hezbollah had declined to give us an interview with its fighters. But Ali Shuaib was able to provide an insight into the mindset of these fighters. During the war, he embedded himself with a Hezbollah guerrilla unit.
It was a matter of determination. Hezbollah fighters would not fire their anti-tank missiles until they were 100% sure they could strike a Merkava. Some Merkavas were destroyed from only 20 meters away.
The issue was not the technology of the missiles, as the Israelis claimed after the war. The issue was determination, creativity, and innovation in the battlefield.
Even some Israelis believe the mental qualities displayed by Hezbollah guerrillas proved an advantage, despite the fact they were outgunned.
If you are handling a situation in a battlefield when the Merkava is against some half Shahid, it's a problem. It's a matter of determination, not a matter of a well-designed tank, which the Merkava is.
Israel had years of experience fighting Hezbollah during its 22-year occupation of South Lebanon. Yet in the Merkava, the Israelis were still deploying a weapon originally designed in the 1970s for large-scale tank warfare between nation-states.
The Israelis used to rely on tanks because they manifested their prestige. But after the Lebanon War, this is not the case to the same extent. Israel's enemy today is not an army like that of Syria or Egypt, but rather guerrilla movements.
Guerrilla warfare usually pits a smaller force against a conventionally more powerful enemy, as in Vietnam, Afghanistan, and Iraq today. Hezbollah could not destroy the Israeli army, but in targeting the Merkava tank, it was sapping Israel's strength and morale in southern Lebanon.
With respect to resistance movements, they can never defeat their enemies, but they can exhaust them. All the major powers must realize that no matter how sophisticated their technology may become, the human factor can still defeat them.
Fighting on their own soil, the Hezbollah guerrillas possessed a sense of purpose, which some analysts feel Israel lacked.
When the Israeli soldier is defending Israel itself, he has a motivation because he is defending his land. But when he goes to fight in Lebanon, Sinai, the Golan, he is an invader and therefore doesn't have the same motivation.
Israeli troops on the ground didn't really believe in the project. There was no great sort of sense of mission or moral duty. This was, in a sense, a punishment operation.
Right now, I think that some Israeli are not sure what is the aim, why we are fighting for.
Such uncertainty about Israel's aims is casting doubt on the very basics of Israeli military doctrine and the continued use of the Merkava. Drawing lessons from the 2006 war in Lebanon, Israel is revising its military tactics. Its version of Blitzkrieg has become outdated in today's battlefield. Israeli soldiers are today training for warfare that will rely less on tanks and more on infantry. These exercises are conducted on terrain similar to that of southern Lebanon. Other environments are also simulated. This is a mock Arab town, specially constructed by the Israeli army for military exercises. These soldiers are practicing street fighting. The setting is similar to that of towns in Gaza, the West Bank, and Lebanon. After more than 3 decades of research, investment and development, the Merkava project is now at a crossroads.
There's been a debate in Israel over the last few years about whether we should continue to manufacture the Merkava or not. We spend a lot of money on the Merkava, and Israel is a small country.
Military analysts estimate that $6.5 billion has been spent on the development and continued upgrading of the Merkava tank since the 1970s. Yuri Milstein is one of the critics of the philosophy behind the Merkava tank. He believes such spending is an unjustified extravagance.
The United States offered to sell us their Abrams tank, but the Minister of Defense and Israel Tal refused this offer. They chose instead to continue investing in the Merkava project.
But supporters of the Merkava do not want Israel to be dependent on anyone, even its closest ally, the United States. These supporters argue that the Merkava remains an essential part of Israel's military arsenal.
It's our baby. Why to kill it?
Beyond the debate about the costs and politics of the Merkava program lie other issues. Questions have been raised about whether Israel's main battle tank is compromising rather than consolidating Israel's long-term security.
There would be an incursion, often accompanied by tanks, into a West Bank town like Jenin. And then at the end of the operation, Israel would come out and they would say, well, that's been a success. There were 10 terrorists in Jenin, and we've killed 6, and now there are only 4 left. And I would go and talk to the people in Jenin, and they say, well, you know, before this operation, there were about 10 terrorists in Jenin. And the Israelis came in and killed them, and now there are 24 terrorists in Jenin.
You are not supposed to use tanks against human beings. You are not supposed to use tanks against guerrillas who are waiting in the bushes. If you want to use tanks, use it against tanks. This is the only way to succeed.
The Merkava has become an emblem of Israel, and the debate about its future is emblematic of the difficult choices Israeli society is confronting.
It's correct to think of Merkava as a symbol of Israel. Israel as a country wanted to model itself on the Merkava, to be strong on the outside and have a population living in comfort on the inside. And like the Merkava, to be ruthless and accurate in its ability to destroy its enemies.
The tank, like the wall the Israelis are building around the West Bank, epitomizes Israel's attempt to ensure its own security. The danger is that the pursuit of military domination and secure isolation is ultimately unattainable, and may in fact preclude any chance of achieving peace.
There is another critique of the Merkava, if I can put it that way, which is really about using military machinery to achieve what one might hope would be done through conciliation or discussion or negotiation or diplomacy. The energy that had been put into developing this piece of military technology had been used, even a fraction of it, to sort of think about other ways of, doing conciliation. It would be helpful.
One Israeli who knows all about the need for reconciliation is Arilova Eliav. As a young man, he fought in the First Arab-Israeli War to establish the State of Israel. In later years, he became less of a militant and more interested in seeking peace. He still believes that diplomacy and concession are the only way to resolve the Arab-Israeli conflict and sow the seeds of peace.
Having a strong army, yes, sure enough, but start talking and come to a compromise. There is no, the essence of peace is a compromise. It's the very essence of peace.
As in the past, Israel will continue to adapt its fighting techniques and upgrade its weapons in the belief that its security lies in military strength. God's chariot, the Merkava, has failed to provide this security. The question is whether any weapon or fighting technique can give the Israeli people the security they crave, or whether there are other ways to secure lasting peace.